Now, this is the first time I was able to hear like this guy's lying. And it just sounded like a lie. I kept calling him for my tape, and he was giving me the runaround. I don't have the tape, man. I didn't get it back yet. Keeping my tape for his collection. Him trying to sign me and Miz, all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, just nah, I can't, just giving me the BS. BS. Like he just lies. P. Diddy, Puffy, Puffy. That's how I was introduced to him. That's how we met. After I won the New Music Seminar Battle for World Supremacy, I met with a guy named Steve. I can't remember his last name. But Steve told Miz and I, you need to go see this guy named Puffy, Shawn Puffy Combs. And he worked at Uptown. So we were like, okay, we'll talk to him. Whoever he is, we'll talk to him. And at the time, and I said this in the documentary World Supreme Hip Hop, at the time, if we were going to Uptown, we wanted to talk to Andre Harrell. But anyway, Steve told us to go see Puffy. So we went in Manhattan, we went up to Uptown's label in the building, went upstairs, and Puffy has this little office with this metal desk and a boom box on the side of it, and we're talking to him. And because I wanted him to know what Miz and I have accomplished, our skill level with the rhymes, with the DJing, I brought my master copy of the battle win, my battle and Miz's battle. And I gave it to Puffy, and he said, cool, I'm gonna check it out. And I remember a couple weeks later, I called him on the phone and I was like, hey, you got the tape? And he was like, yo, Fresh, my bad, man. I gave it to Andre and he hasn't given it back to me. Now, this is the first time I was able to hear, like, this guy's lying. I was like, yo, man, come on, man, where's the tape, man? You gave him the tape? He was like, yeah, my bad, man. I gave him the tape. He didn't give it back to me, but as soon as I get it back, I'm gonna give it to you. And it just sounded like a lie. And I was like, wow, I do not have a clean copy of my world championship win because this guy's stealing my tape. So that was the first thing. A couple weeks go by, he's like, hey, get me your Tommy Boy contract so I can see what we can do. I get a copy of the contracts to him. We meet back at his office, and he's like, yo, y'all ain't getting no money, man. There's really nothing I can do. They ain't giving you no money. Miz and I were like, okay, what are we gonna do? I remember we played two of our songs that didn't come out yet. One of them was We Don't Play. The other one was Ain't You Freshco. And he heard We Don't Play. He heard Ain't You Freshco. And he said, which one of y'all putting out? And we were like, We Don't Play. And he said, the song is Ain't You Freshco. Y'all need to put out Ain't You Freshco. So there are times where I'm like, man, if we would have made that the single, had a video to it, I would have been at a different place at this point in my life, but it's all good. So because he said we weren't getting any money, we really stopped interacting with him. I kept calling him for my tape, and he was giving me the runaround. I don't have the tape, man. I didn't get it back yet. And I'm like, man, I need my tape back, man. Then he was telling me about, he's trying to get his own label. He's gonna get this label. He's gonna put together a label. It's gonna be called Bad Boy. I was like, okay. But like I said, we was trying to meet with Andre Harrell at the time. We wasn't trying to meet with no Puffy. So he's talking about this Bad Boy stuff, and we was like, okay, all right, that's cool. So we ended up going to talk to, like Leo Cohen and them guys over at Rush and Def Jam. But yeah, that was the first time I was like, man, this guy, he's keeping my tape for his collection. He's keeping my tape for his collection, and he just won't give it back. He could have just made a copy and gave me my tape back, but that's what he did. The next time I see him, my friends and I, we go to Freaknik here in Atlanta. Came out to Freaknik back in the day from Brooklyn. We drove. We had like 3 cars. And a couple days into Freaknik, one of the nights, Puffy was having a party in some, I don't remember us being in a hotel, but it was some type of venue. And I walked up to the front and I was like, Freshco. And they was like, hey, hold on a second. This is Puffy's party, hold on 1 second. And I was like, tell him Freshco's here. And dude was like, okay, he went in. Puffy comes out. He's like, Fresh, what's up? And I'm like, what's up? What's good? And then he looks behind me at my friends, and he's like, yo, I would let you in, but you got too many dudes with you, man. He was like, yo, we already got enough dudes in here, so I can't let you in. And again, it was with that voice that I'm like he can lie to you. He can tell you like you have one eye. And he's telling you like you have one eye. Like there's only one thing on your face and it's in the middle of your face. And he's telling you like he's serious. And I'm like, wow. So I was standing there, I was like, Puff, for real? I'm like getting ready to laugh. I'm like, are you serious? Like we out here like this, it's me. He's like, yo, Fresh, I can't. You got too many dudes with you. I was like, wow, okay. My man said, damn, that's how your boy do you? And I was like, it was just one of those things. I just had to suck it up and move on. And I was like, wow, I've met with this dude so many times. Him trying to sign me and Miz, all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, just I can't, just giving me the BS. The last time that I had anything to do with people involved with Puffy, P. Diddy, or whatever was when I did the freestyle with Biggie at DJ Enough's. Biggie and I did the freestyle. Biggie was crazy excited. He was like, yo, this is so hot. This is going on my album. That's the first album where he got all the joints, right? And he played, before we did the freestyle, he was playing the Method Man joint he did. He played all his songs. And then we did the freestyle. He was like, yo, this is going on my album. This is hot. He was like, I just got to ask Puffy and we're going to get it on my album. I was like, cool. Biggie gives me his number. I'm like, yo, when I call you, should I ask for Christopher or Biggie? Because I knew he stayed with his mom, right? And he was like, it's all good. She knows, right? Which means I could ask for whoever, Biggie or Christopher. I call him up. His mom picks up the phone. And I'm like, may I speak to Biggie? She's like, who's calling? I'm like, tell him it's Freshco. And then she holds the phone. She's like, Christopher, blah, 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 right? He gets on the phone. And I'm like, yo, so what's up? He's like, yo, Puffy said we got enough songs for the album, man, so he's not putting it on the album. And the way he said it, like it was like Biggie was so disappointed. And I just was like, wow, okay. Like, this dude Puffy, since the day I met him, he just lies. And over the years, over the decades that have passed, when people ask me about being in the industry and my music career and all this stuff, and Puffy comes up, or P. Diddy and all this nonsense, I get like quiet, because I have never been one to try to throw shade on anybody's name. But I just get quiet. And they're like, back in the day, it used to be like, oh, wow, you knew Puffy, you knew Diddy and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, Puffy. That's his name, Puffy. It wasn't until Biggie was like P. Diddy, da-da-da, and he put it in a rap, then he was like, oh, I'm going to call myself P. Diddy. That sounds better. But it's Puffy. And I just, in my head, I was like, man, this is like the most, like he just lies. He just lies. He looks you in your face and he could just lie about anything. About anything. About anything. Yo, Fresh, it's not raining outside. This ain't rain, dog. This ain't rain. It's not really raining. Like he could just lie about anything. So with everything that has come out, I'm like, I was right on. I was right on point with how I felt about this dude and how dishonest he was, But I would always refrain from throwing dirt on people, because it's gonna look like I'm hating. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I wouldn't say much. People who are close to me, I was like, man, that dude can lie. People who are really close to me, they know. I'm like, man, that dude, he could just look at you and lie. Tell you you're purple. You're purple, man. For real. Like he could just do that. So all this stuff that has come out, and I hear him talking, I'm like, wow, he's the same guy. All these years later, these decades later, he's the same dude. And now it has caught up. It has caught up. I can't imagine what these people have been going through dealing with him. I can't imagine what could have happened if I signed to Bad Boy. Like, it's almost scary, because look how many people are dead. Look how many people are coming out of the woodwork. And I saw this same thing decades ago. So when I see the interviews and people are like, yo, let me tell you about Puffy. Let me tell you about Diddy. He did this, he did that. I'm just sitting there like, yeah. I'm never surprised. I'm never surprised. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, character is everything. Character is everything. And I just knew that, this dude right here, like, I'm good. I'm good. So I thank God that none of that happened. You know what I'm saying? And wow, look at what's happening now to P. Diddy.